What's my parents' recipe for a healthy, long relationship? They've been together for 47 years. And my dad and my mom would both say communication is the most important thing in a relationship. Trust, honesty. And when you fuck up, admit it. Don't lie about it. There shouldn't be any secrets or, there shouldn't be any secrets in a relationship. In order to make a relationship work, you've got to be honest with yourself and your mate, and you also have to have a lot of give and take in a relationship. It's not always supposed to be one giving and the other one, always getting shit and never doing anything, it took me a long time to realize, my whole life, when I was growing up, I saw my parents, even with their arguments and whatever, they stuck together. So I thought that's what you needed to do in any relationship, right? But that's far from the truth. My parents had a healthy relationship. Yeah, they had their little arguments and whatever, but it wasn't abusive. When you're in an abusive relationship, especially with a narcissist will constantly lie, cheat, just portray everything that they're doing onto you, and there's no give and take. It's basically one person is giving and the other one is not doing anything really to help out the relationship. In order to make a relationship work, you have to have a give and take. You have to have respect. There's got to be a lot of communication about your feelings, and the other person has to be willing to listen and compromise and understand and respect the other person for their feelings. If you don't have any of that, you can't have a relationship. And I was in an abusive relationship for 10.5 years where I was just giving, and I never got in return, and it began to be not only emotionally, but also physically abusive. How do I say this? Every time that I would say, look, I've had enough, I can't do this anymore, the person would change. Yeah, he'd change, and he'd put the big old act on for a little while just to keep me there. But every time that he would get better just to get me back, to keep me there, well, the next blow up would be worse. And then he'd get better, and then worse again, and then better, and then worse again, to the point where it had become not only emotionally, but physically, physically abusive. And I was the lucky one. I got out of it alive. But I know some of my friends and family who didn't come out alive. I've witnessed I've witnessed a lot of relationships where people either got out really harmed physically, or they're dead today. I have a cousin who was murdered by her husband, and we can't bring her back. And no one was really there to help her out and get her out of there. And I'm just glad that I got out the way I did, because at least I'm alive. I'm still here for my daughter. Nothing happened. I got out on time. But some people don't have that luxury. What I'm trying to say here is, yes, you have to keep, trying your best to keep a relationship together. But when you're in an abusive relationship, and the person keeps saying, oh, I'm going to change, I'm sorry, and they keep going back to the same behaviors over and over and over again, They're not going to change. They don't. They get worse. They do, believe me. Every time that I believed that, I took them back, and it just, it got worse to the point where I did almost lose my life one night, and I also almost lost my eye. I was 3 months without being able to sneeze or cough. It scared the shit out of me. I'd have to cough or sneeze, and I'd have to like hold my eye, because the doctor told me that I had too much air in the back of my eye, and if I sneezed, I could lose it. And I also have sleep apnea, which I wasn't able to use my machine because that would also pop out the eye. So what I'm trying to say here is, if any of you are in an abusive relationship, please get out. Like, some people wait too long until it's too late, and then they're in a grave somewhere. I'm grateful for the fact that I didn't end up in a grave. You know, like, and I'm not trying to play a victim here. I'm just trying to, like, you know, really reach out to people out there so that they get out before it's too late.